right. Hello, hello. Looks like you guys can see me or hear me. Not see me, obviously hear me. I can see that you can hear me. If you can follow that. Anyway, so we'll just dive into things right now. The CPI data was kind of what I expected it was going to be. We talked about that core. It's funny, everybody and even the markets out there right now, they're celebrating. Look at that, 6% year over year. What we do is working. Man, are they so blind? It's amazing. You could say that, and again, on face value, is 6 better than like 8 or 9? Sure, sure, but we're not accelerating at the same rate that we were, but we're still accelerating. We're still accelerating. So the markets right now are pretty interesting. All the indices are in the green. They're like, yeah, 6%. Got it. Love it. Here's an increase. What are you talking about? Yeah, on a yearly basis, sure, but on a monthly basis, what's happening every month? We're a year into raises, and you're continuing to see an increase. That's not necessarily a good sign. CPI, remember, CPI is one of the things that the Fed was looking at, right? Is it? Are we slowing down? No, no, no. So we got that. There is obviously some big movement out there. You're seeing obviously the yen, right? Pound yen up 361, dollar yen up 203. Again, more or less because of I'd say indices. Dollar CAD you're seeing obviously is up pretty big as well, but some of the other ones are more flat. Aussie dollar more or less flat. Dollar Swiss more or less flat. Euro dollar 17, not really a ton. The pound up 86, and again their claim account data was pretty good. Again, there was an adjustment last time. Average earnings again holding exactly what is expected. Claim account was expected to be, positive a little bit, negative. So again, all good data out of the UK. So that's what's accelerating this pound yen as much it is. Besides that, besides the CPI data, literally what just came out, I wouldn't say that there's much. There's a lot of comments and questions, and a lot of the bank failure stuff is still there. I don't think the bank failure is over yet. I'm sure we're going to see more about it. Like I said, a lot of opinions, a lot of people talking about why it's happening. My new favorite. Well, I don't want to say my new favorite, but I guess it's somewhat new, right? CoffeeZilla. You guys have heard all about CoffeeZilla, right? Investigative reporter for YouTube. Love the guy. Awesome. He actually talked about it, why it was happening yesterday, and how it's different, and what could happen, and what illiquid means versus insolvent. I thought it was absolutely a great piece for people that don't really fully understand, kind of the banking system and really kind of what happened. It's like, oh my God, these banks failed. Why? And I think it's great. So if you don't know a whole lot about the banks, again, look them up, CoffeeZilla. You'll see the article that the piece that he did. Really, really great. Again, kept it super, super simple to understand it. So where do we go with this now? Obviously, there'll be comments today. We'll see how people react to it. There's probably going to be some comments from some of the Fed presidents because, again, remember, this is another ingredient. And, you could look at the yearly one and be like, oh, my God, look at this. It's working. Woo! Down from 6.4 to 6. But remember, you're comparing this on a monthly basis, right? The mandate is 2, not 6. So, yeah, you can pat yourself on the back that it's slowing. But, again, on a monthly basis, CPI was expected to be 0.4. But is this going backwards? Is this stopping? No, it's continuing to rise. And core, right? Remember, what does core do? It takes out food and energy, right? Because, again, energy is bad, right? Energy was the start of all this, but now energy is not the big problem. Now everything is just getting more expensive. And it was 0.4, right? Click into this historically, you can see it, right? Look at this. We had the big 6 and then like, yeah, look at that, 0.3. You're like, yeah, it's working. Okay, maybe not. Increasing again. And what did it do as expected? And it's going higher. So this shows, since we've been rising, none of these are negative. And again, 0.6 increase, 0.3, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. This looks like acceleration to me. Okay. But people are looking at that being like, yeah, 6 year over year. Woo, it's the lowest it's been in like 2 years. That's awesome. Is it really? Or is this the ingredient the Fed needs to say that, we're going to continue going? Yeah, here you go. Russia built $80 billion in offshore cash pile in year of sanctions. I don't know how they know that. Let's see. Hold on. Commodity exports creating a new flashpoint for U.S. and Titan sanctions. Yeah. I was able to sustain the Kremlin's finances since the attack. Yep. Yeah. Say what you want. That dude's crazy, but he's not stupid. Anyway, That's what we got now. We'll see some headlines on it today. Tomorrow, again, another big day of news. Okay, CPI was today. PPI is tomorrow, as well as retail sales, which is also a big important number. Now, PPI on a monthly basis is supposed to be down big over what it was. But again, Empire Manufacturing there, core retail sales negative, and then you got that core PPI number. And again, does core PPI follow CPI? Maybe, right? These are all ingredients in what the Fed is going to do next. So again, tomorrow morning, another big day of news. So I would expect to see some profit taking coming in today, followed by another explosion tomorrow morning at 8:30. But I do think, again, we could get a comment from the Fed today that, really kind of sets things off. Right now, the VIX. Now, the VIX is obviously down, right? Again, after yesterday, Monday morning, we were dealing with like weekend bank failures and all that. It was like, holy crap, what's happening? Bank failures? What? And again, I still believe, I don't think we've heard the end of bank failures. I know they're coming in and the government's saving them and things like that, but understanding why they happened and how banks actually lose money, which, again, wouldn't be surprised if we have at least another one, maybe two small, tiny regional banks. There's got to be a couple other ones out there that are having some problems. But right now, overall, like I said, everybody's looking, all the indices are up pretty deep. The Russell's up 3% right now. They're looking at this year over year, we're 6%. It's awesome. Remember, the stock market doesn't care about all the data. They only care about the data that justifies their point of view. Seeing that the core is continuing to rise, I'll tell you right now, core CPI, remember, when we first started kind of dealing with this, Bernard was like, remember her? She still exists. She hasn't died. Remember, she's the number 2, but you very rarely hear her make any comments whatsoever because, I think the market very quickly turned on her and her appointment and being number 2 and all that kind of stuff. But remember, she's like, hey, listen, the CPI doesn't really matter. The core is what we're really focused on, and the core is maintaining and not get energy and food out the bad stuff. And core is good. Well, we're seeing core rise right now. So again, because of that, all the deep in the green, you're seeing all this pull right back down again. So again, you're seeing Apple up pretty nicely, right? You're seeing Tesla up pretty nicely, right? Not pulling back. You're seeing all the commodities right now. Actually, I'm sorry, the dollar. The dollar not doing much. It's funny. You see the stock market, you're like, oh my God, it's up huge. The dollar's got to be getting crushed. Is the dollar getting crushed? No. I mean, after all the news that came in, what's the dollar doing? I mean, yeah, there's a spike up and down, but now that after the news is there, you would say, oh, the indices are up, the dollar's down. Fed's not going to do anything. This is awesome. What's the dollar doing? Dollar is starting to rally back up again since that news came up to start chipping its way higher again, as it should be. I mean, again, if core is rising, the Fed has to acknowledge that. To pretend that only the 6% matters, I think is very short-sighted. But anyway, it's moving up. So all the commodities, all in the red, right? All in the red. And pretty nicely, 73. Love that. Is natural gas? I mean, natural gas is down 1%. Is that really deep in the red? Nah. I mean, it goes up and down 5%, 7% a day. So is 1% that big of a deal? Nah. But look at this. Oh my God. Gold and silver. How is that possible? The markets are up. Gold should be spiking. The dollar, they're not going to do anything. The gold and silver market is not dumb. Remember, bonds and gold and silver commodities, they've had their finger on the pulse of what the Fed is doing pretty well, right? Pretty well. Dollar rises, these two go down, right? And look, 1900 is what we talked about as being, if we could get up there, that would be a nice little area. But meanwhile, the indices are like, woo, Wild West, let's go. Let's take off. I can't do that again. Yeah, so funny note, you guys are looking for some comedy this morning, and if I suddenly stop talking, I was gone most of yesterday or whatever. I got back, and Jen wanted to wrestle, tickle, whatever it was. I was tickling her last night. She turned and arced her head back, popped me in such an angle on my nose. I was seeing stars for a little bit afterwards. Definitely broke my nose last night. So if I move my face too much, it's oh yeah, that hurts. So if I suddenly stop or make a weird groaning noise, it's because I've moved my nose too much now. So just so you guys know. But yeah, that was my fun last night. I was like, yep, nose is definitely broken. She's like, I'm sorry, Daddy. I'll take care of you. I'm like, you're the best. You're the best, Ijin. But my nose is still broken. Melissa's like, do we need to go to the emergency room? Like, no, they're not. It's a nose. There's nothing they can do. Anyway, here we go. So yesterday, let's bring this back. Yesterday we were sitting right here. That's where we were sitting yesterday. And we said, hey, listen, Not really loving this zone. We've already hit a few times. I think it's pretty dangerous in there. That's that 10:30 candle right there. And what do we see? We saw a spike up. Okay, so this is now what around 11 o'clock, right? We talked about liking this level much better. Is a little bit behind that 61. We get some artificial selling in there, and there's your response right off of it. So again, that 61.10 at 11:30 is when it really took that collapse back to the downside. So again, yesterday morning, two nice reversals. Obviously, the first one being at the European Open. That one dropped all the way down. And then again, if you caught this upper position, this is what your 1 to 3 look like. And again, nice little trade setup on this one. I just wanted to make sure we reviewed it. It was right there. So again, very, very fast. Spiked up in 2, parabolic retracement, all the way back down again, right back to the start of the move. And we're really kind of there right now. Looking to see where this one moved. I mean, here's where the news came out today, right? And what do we see? Spike up, spike down, cleared, came back up, and is now starting to roll back to the downside. So it did turn at a level of basing down here. So I mean, there you could have looked at this and said, "Hey, listen, I got a confirmed level sitting right here. If we can get down there, I go long." And you could have potentially taken that one if you wanted to, right? But right now, I think this probably comes back in tiers. If I have to say where this one is going, I would make the assumption. Here, we'll just delete this. This one's out from yesterday. We'll leave that there. We're going to turn it yellow. I'm going to take this. I'm going to put it down here. Oh, man, my nose hurts. Right there. 66.40. So, yeah, I mean, right now, we know we got strong sellers up top. The way we got a top on this one, the way that it's starting to roll back down again. Yeah, I think this one probably rolls down to 66.40. Don't necessarily have a great sell zone from it. If you really, for some reason, if you're like, listen, I got to find a way to get short Aussie, I would say that there's potentially where you could use as a top. But for the most part, I'd really like it to go back up higher. We're just kind of fluctuating here, again around where this alert was yesterday. So we'll remove the alert. Yeah, I mean, really, this is the next area we're willing to really do much. After that, we got a couple little kind of confirmed tested levels where we could bounce off of. Let's take this low to high real quick. It's really there. We're gonna put it there. If this is able to stabilize, I actually don't mind this one right here. That could be an opportunity right there. I'd really like to see when it hits that, though. Yeah, it could be over here. This is retail sales, so yeah, like I said, PPI is one that people don't get, and that comes in as forecast. But if retail sales tanks even worse than it actually is, again, we'll see if the buyer is still supporting anybody. Hmm, hmm. Yeah, I'd say right now look for a target at 66.40. Again, depending if we can base in there or not, I think we can get a potential bounce off 66.22. And then again, upside, obviously it's upside. I'm still looking at the 76.10 as again a potential. But if you really need something this afternoon and you start to get a base here and it pulls back, I do think that could be a potential short as well. And that's located at 66.83. I'll put it there just so you guys can see it. Okay. But I'd like to see it base in here a little bit first. Right, I want to see it base for half hour, and then pull up. Aussie yen. All right, so Aussie yen from yesterday. So this one really kind of chopped back and forth. You can see the news today kind of whipped back and forth. It did hit that level and whip back down again. So it did take that kind of quick hit on there. We can remove this. We can actually remove this now. It is past. Now we are getting up into an area, and the question is, right now this is mostly, I would say this is mostly probably a yen thing. It's not so much Aussie because again we're seeing gold down, so the Aussie's not getting strength. It's purely a yen play. And again, that is because all the indices are like, yeah, it's only 6%. Yeah, it's 6%. That's 3 times higher than what it's supposed to be. But you can celebrate that. I do think there is probably a reversal up here. Now, yesterday we marked off, and again, this box right here is kind of showing the full level of where I believe selling could come in. Obviously, we got some stuff in here. It came up, it tested, it hit it, and then took off from it. So I think near term, we are really getting close to this 90-15 level, which I do think is a high probability of reversing. It's a little bit shy of the 50, so we're not going to get the artificial selling coming in from that 50 group. There is obviously an area just above that as well. And again, this could be almost a secondary level coming in at 99.50. right? And then again, 99.50 being a little bit of psychological love there with the 5-0. But the 50 is kind of sitting right smack in the middle. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this big area. I'd like to see kind of a top put in, something similar to this, where it goes up, kind of bases, pulls down, and then tries to pull back again. And as long as it doesn't go as high when it pulls through the bottom is where you're looking to take that one short. So looking for a potential reversal here, depending on your strategies. Like I said, I think anywhere inside of this area, this orange area is where the reversal could come in. Hold on, I ended up clicking weird. Unfortunately, the top to bottom is 50 pips. I'm not taking a 50 pip risk zone in this one. I think either of them by themselves are fine. But I do like, of the two, I do like the 90-50 better, just because it ended up kind of basing, and then it was a very, very strong push out of it. I like to see just a little bit farther push forward. I'm going to be mad if it leaves this soon. I mean, could it go here? Yeah, it could. Based off of where the top of this candle is, but the zone is just a little tiny bit above, 4 pips higher. So, but if a front run's coming, this is where they come in at. So just be cautious with that. But I do think this one turns and rolls. As far as if you do get short in this one, I would say profit target wise, make sure you're out here, right? That's where buyers are going to come in. So don't play with this one too much longer than 80, 89.25. Euro dollar. So euro dollar, looking for a push down. Now this one ended up going just a little bit higher. We ended up getting a common push into this one. It needed a little bit more. Once it started the base in here, it's like, yep, it's going. Now, it didn't hit, but we really needed to adjust it up to there. Is really where the trade should have been. So you may or may not have gotten into this one. Depending on if you took this first top, I mean, again, and it hit it, it's like, wait a second. This one pushed it, this one hit it, this one hit it again, and it pulled back down again. It's like, this is like 3 hits right here. It's not really long. Once it broke through the top, you're like, okay, there's the base. It didn't go. It's a short. So you may or may not have gotten in. If anything, I would say that, listen, here was the new top. Here, I'll just move the yellow. There's where the new top was for news today. And you can see it survived. It didn't actually get stopped out of the top side. So you may have gotten to this one or not. We're at the extreme range. Again, I do think this one, I mean, you can see it's already pulling back very, very fast. Again, if you grab the short, great job. It's been a nice reversal at this point. It's down already 40 pips since that news. So again, easy grab. I do think based off of where the fibs are, I do think we are going to have a little bit of not front running, but I do think we are going to have a little bit of a problem right here with this orange zone. It is a base. There is a nice push off of it, right? You see the red, you see the green pull back in there. The red pulls back in and it takes off. There are some 23.6 buyers that are going to come in there at that level, particularly because the other piece was there. So I'd really like to see what it does here. If it can break through that, there is buying down here. But at this point, I feel like there's probably going to be a short trade coming through. Another one. Suddenly the door is opening. Reese is watching Kip right now, so I'm half expecting him to come up here pretty soon and be like, Dad, he's hungry. So this is what I'm kind of looking for. I'm looking for this to come down. It's a profit target first, but if we start getting the base inside of this bottom section here, a 1 to 3 is only sitting right there. So it's coming in. Hold on, it's a little bit off. Right there. 3.03 is fine. It's coming in right where these buyers are here, but here's really where the zone is down at the 50. So I'm kind of looking for a break of this one. And again, you guys know the parameters. I like to see it come in and base. I like to see it pull down and pull back up again as you see some profit taking come in. But right now, if you are short, again, your first profit target is at 106.91. Look for it to base in this level, eat up the rest of these orders, break it, and then pull back and then pull that trigger on a short with an overall profit target down here, coming in at 106.46. All right. Euro pound. So we mapped this one out yesterday, talking about how, listen, we want to go down. We wanted to push to a level. We knew where it was. So prior to the news release, what did we see price do? Shot straight down. Now the question was, is that in the zone? It was at a 51 or 78.6. Let's see. There is basing right here near that level. Again, not my favorite level, but if you're looking for something for news, let's see if that worked. Yeah, that worked. So there was your trade. Right. We talked about pulling down into a level. And again, with it driving in there at 2:30, it was a 3 o'clock release, right? Yeah, 3 o'clock. So you would have taken this one on the way out. Because it's here, you would have set this one to go in the opposite direction. So, and 1 to 3 is right there. So there's your news trade. Very simple. It's out now, right? But very simple. Hour and a half, it drove straight down into that zone right in time for the news. Kind of like they knew, right? And the news came out. And what did it do? Popped it right back up. All right. So where are we at now? You can see this one bounced. Let's take this. Let's see where we get some artificial selling in this one. I'm gonna pull that right now. You got a nice little roll here, although it wasn't super clean. It hit it and bounced back again and then went higher. So again, there may be some people that got stopped out on that. Honestly, I like kind of this area here. Actually, here, let's leave this over here and I'll just draw a box for it. I like that that's hit there. Let's see. All we gotta say is God is mine is her right now. I know confirmation off of that one. I'm okay with that, I think. All right, so expect to be up. See pricing. Really put it down. Um, right now, again, we're seeing because of this is all green right here. Again, this is all great data. It with this pop there, we should continue. We should continue to see this come back down again. It's not really. It's not enough. There's not enough space here to be able to get this one kind of a full push to the downside. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, as far as a reversal, I like this as a target. Would not get into it again. It pushed it very to the brink. There's not enough for a Harry Potter trade. So right now, I'd say, and again, this is the start of the move all the way back there. I'd say 87.62 is probably where I look for this one to bounce. And again, we know we have news coming in. You guys can see over here we have ECB interest rates. Um, you know, right now it's expected to go from 3 to 3.5, the interest rate decision. So, we know we have that over there. How much do we got to push for that? It's only 40 pips, and this is yeah, I mean, we've still got a couple days. So, yeah, I'd like to see it bounce off of this before that news. I'd really like to see. I'd like to see it come down and then bounce back up again before that interest rate decision. Again, it's expected to be 3.5. It comes in 3.5. It should be a shorting opportunity. So I kind of want to see it bounce up, and then we can take it short on Thursday from in here. Okay, so we'll see. Yeah, yeah. So again, if you're short, great. If not, I'm not looking to get in this one until a little bit lower. Euro pound. All right. So um, yesterday, it's Tuesday. Hold on. Monday, we were sitting right here. So we had this Harry Potter drawn, and we're like, yeah, we're looking for a push up and a pull back down again. So being right here is where we broke. Right here's the alert that went off. The alert went off right around 11:30. So again, we said that this is a great way to take this one long. As you can see, it did run into a little area here, but if we slide this across, there's what your trade looked like. It came in, it went up a little bit higher, came back down and got an entry again. So if you weren't interested in the overnight, there was your 3 o'clock open. It pulled back to that same kind of Harry Potter zone that we had confirmed buyers in and took off, and you were out at 5:30 this morning. And now it's back up at the top. And I would say, based off of where we are, I think this is probably a decent level for a reversal up in this zone. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. This was an 88 pip mover in the overnight. So yeah, I like this one short. Do I love this zone? Yeah, it's all right. It's a 3 candle top base. There's 2 candles up there formed at 3 o'clock yesterday morning. Kind of a mirror bottom on that one, so it's all right. It was decent to push, but this is a Monday morning open, right? Monday morning European session open, so kind of playing catch up from the weekend. But being 10 o'clock, this is probably a great time for a reversal to come in to get that yen strength coming in. I'm sorry, yeah, the yen profit taking coming in. as well as what we saw in a couple other pairs. I mean, we're seeing the euro pound start to deteriorate on that one. Pound dollar also at an area where we're starting to see it deteriorate. So it makes sense that the euro yen is also going to have problems and roll back down. Do I love it as far as an entry? Not so much. But again, I would say more bearish thinking. Um, hmm. Problem with that one is it's really kind of over there. Not a big fan of the 786. I think I think I'm okay with that one. If that's a Thursday thing, 90. Hmm. I like that one for news. I don't know if I like that any other time. That's a big difference. Yeah, so I like this level. I'm gonna turn it blue because that's what we typically signify for like news trades. I like that level as far as a news trade goes. I'm not concerned about the 78.6. It hit up a little bit and pulled back again, but again, it got front run by this level. This zone is not the original, but it was a pretty decent. It kind of popped up and did a lot of basing there, and then got a nice forceful push away, and was front run here and pushed just a little bit higher, and then again was kind of a significant mover. So I'd say right now, if we can get up into this level, again, ideally set for news, right? I think that makes a lot of sense right there, right? 145 area of confirmed sellers, big psychological level, having a four and a bunch of zeros. I love that. So again, ideally with news, or at least a session rollover, but it's got about 90 pips to go. It's got a daily ATR of 140 right now, so it's going to take a little bit of movement there. So pound dollar. All right, so pound dollar. We're talking about where the news came on this one. This one again, you can see the push through yesterday. So let's remove this push. That one is out. That is out. We can run this all the way up at this point. Again, I think this fails. So we know there's a level here. Let's take this off. Let me pull this back to here real quick. 15. Okay, I'm good with that one. Do we have enough room? Oof, it's close. It's close. That's kind of what we're looking at right now. Move this so we don't confuse everybody. Right here and right there. So I would say that this is probably 1 and 2. If in this short, I would say that that's probably too big. Just leave it there. Whatever. I don't want the heart. Why does it automatically go to the heart every time? Like I don't want the heart. I just want to click it and be like. All right. So I'd say there's probably one. There's probably two in this one, right? If you're looking for two profit targets, again, this one, a little bit of news whip back and forth, and there's ascending candles, what we typically like. It's not quite a 1 to 3 on that one, but I like how this one has supported it so much. I mean, it grounded in, hit it again, hit it again, hit it again. It's like, listen, there are almost no buyers left there. Bit of a racetrack down. So, TP1, TP2 is what I'd be looking for on that. Pound yen again high. You can see that this one kind of got up there for news, and then it did push back down again. So we knew where the news was in. You can see it ran up there for news and then pushed down off of news. It wasn't quite at the. I mean, it was okay with the level. I wouldn't say it was my favorite spot. Right now, this is what we're looking for. Did we get to the 78? Not really. So we're gonna leave it. Leave that there. That one is out. Let's take this and reverse this here. See what we have on the other side. Right there. There's a level at the 50. Um, Kind of the same thing. This is way too big of a level to be able to pull something off of. We can say, hey, listen, we've now changed our opinion down to a bearish side, but I'm not drawing, I'm not drawing a zone that's 55 pips. I'm just not taking it. It's just not worth it for me. If we can't refine it, again, we can use this as a proxy for other things. But I do think that this one turns and rolls back to the downside. Even just for it to get to a 23, you're talking about an 80 pip mover followed by like the secondary area at 174. So it's a big day. It's way outside of what its normal range is. Again, you can see it's 278 right now, retracing back again. Its daily ATR is 165. It was over 300 when we were here earlier. So, we're up at like the 2 times. It should roll back down again and kind of come back to the mean of where we should be. But it's well beyond the range. I think probably today we should look for price to come back down to probably in this area, right? The 162.50-ish range is kind of where our target is on this one. I think for pound yen, again, I think there's other opportunities out there that are a little bit nicer than this one. But again, I would say my opinion right now on this one is I need like a bearish stamp, right? I need like a bearish stamp, right? I don't have, there's a hippo. Like there's a penguin and a hippo. Like this is trading. Like give us like a bull and a bear, right? I guess you could say that's a cow's nose, but it looks more like maybe a pig, right? It looks it's more like a pig, right? Like if you had to pick what animal that is, it's like, it's not a bull, right? I guess I don't know. I think it's like a pig. I think it's a pig. I guess I could use it for like pigs get slaughtered, but yeah, it's like give me a pig and a penguin, right? It's trading. Give me a bull and a bear, right? I guess I got a bug, right? I got a bug. I got a bug, a penguin, and I don't know, right? What else we got here? I got an airplane. I got a piece of poop, right? Because that's important for trading, right? I guess it is. Right? You could say that your analysis, and let's put a poop out here, right? Present. There's a gift. I can be like, yep, this is a news gift, right? I can put emojis out there. Oh, here you go. I can put emojis on here too. I didn't know this. Oh, wait, animals? Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe I take it back. There are animals in here. So I guess it's just 8 menus in. So I can put it. Is there a bull? I see a boar. That's a pretty cool boar. Oh God, that's not. This is a cow. This is not. I'm not using that as a bull market. Like that is the most unaggressive bull ever. I got it. It's got horns, but I feel like that's a milk cow with, it's a milk cow with horns. God, that was the best that we have. Oh, here you go. This is okay. There you go. That's the best we can get for bull market. So, yeah, fail. Give me like a Merrill Lynch logo. Come on. Come on. Give me the Lynch logo. Yeah, so I guess it's not horrible. But anyway, I would say bearish is what my thinking is on this one. Not a bull. It's just a bull is an easy one. So I'd say this one pulls back down again. Dollar CAD. Yeah, everybody thinks dollar strength or dollar weakness. And again, we talked about a Harry Potter yesterday. So yesterday it pulled pretty deep in there. So had you look to take this Harry Potter yesterday, it would have failed, right? It would have failed. It never gave us a pullback. It made it almost all the way to profit, came back up and started the base in that level. And had we taken the adjustment and said, okay, where's the new level of basing? You could have said, yeah, somewhere over in here. And again, a Harry Potter is not really meant for news trading. You can see the news trading did blow through it. So overall, we talked about getting down to that, 136.69. It did. It's obviously past that right now. Had you taken it yesterday, again, had to finesse this one a little bit. So the entry, kind of a bit weird. And again, you would have got stopped out. If you were looking for, again, depending on what your analysis was, if you're looking for a level here with testing, that did actually hold. So overall, this is where sometimes the fine tuning is in all the details, right? Again, if we take the original Harry Potter, you can see it did come back and use it right there. So a little bit of a hard one. This would have stopped out. No entry here, no entry here. This one probably an entry. It's like, probably got stopped out. No entry here. As it dropped down, you could have used it. But again, Harry Potters are not really meant for news, but it is what it is. So right now, what we're doing is we are continuing to push the downside. For right now, we don't really have a whole lot stopping us down here. This is just going to be a broader. With oil down, it's kind of this right now. It's like kind of like weak dollar and weak CAD. Is the CAD strong? Well, it's not getting any help from the dollar. So right now, this is what we have stopping this kind of push. There's not really a lot stopping it right now. There's not really some great levels until we get much farther down. So unfortunately, This one is trending to the downside, but if we're looking for a nice, strong, high probability reversal level, we don't really have one right now on the chart. We kind of needed to form and establish a new one because like this was all like last week when we were dead. Now you could look at from the top side and say, okay, you know what? I'll just play the short. Right now, that's what we're looking at. Right now, the 23, there's nothing. It got sliced through, right? Had this been your 23, you can say, yep, how far are you going to go? How far are you going to hold this one, right? Oh, yes, it's working. And then it goes even higher. 23 traders are not really looking at that. Now, if you looked at that, there was actually a level that you could have taken there and said, yep, I'm going to trade that one because that's where the sellers are. And you would have been right, right? You could have taken the small zone or the big zone. It doesn't matter, either one. Both of them were fine and held. Again, 23.6 level, 0. Supply zone, 1. But right now, with it driving all the way down to here, you can see that, the levels, there's not really a whole lot out there. I mean, this level has been pushed pretty deep. I wouldn't use it again. There's another one up top. I mean, maybe right now, if this is where the true bottom's coming in, maybe we have something up here at the 61.8, right? But otherwise, is there any bits of strong movement in here? Any decent basing? Not yet right now, right? So as far as taking this to the downside, you can try to use the force and just pick like a number in the middle of nowhere, right? But right now we don't have much. If we continue to push lower, there potentially could be something. Like if we push all the way down to here, right? Now you may say, listen, we're pushing down to that 50% retracement. We know we got a Harry Potter below, but now you can see that 61.8 is lining up with that old level. That could be an area where we get some artificial buyers coming in, as well as you can see the 78 now matches to that other level. So right now, projection wise, I mean, we're looking for this to kind of come all the way down to here. And we know if we break it, we have a Harry Potter setup. But unfortunately, there's just not a lot in here. And right now, not a lot of zones over here that are going to be really high quality. So not much I can do with the dollar CAD today. Dollar Swiss. So we talked about this yesterday morning. We ended up bouncing off of this right at 10 o'clock. And you can see, is it a great trade setup? You can say, oh, Brian, it did go up. You should have taken it. It didn't really hit. It missed it by a few pips and then just did nothing. It just went sideways, went sideways, went sideways, went sideways, went sideways until about 4 o'clock. And then started to move just a little bit and then went sideways and sideways and then kind of rallied up until we got to the European session. And then they pushed it right back down into that same base level. And then this morning we got a bit of a pop. Now you may say, wait a second. We're seeing dollar weakness everywhere. How is this going up? Well, because technically, again, there was a little bit of bad, Swiss data. And again, the dollar data is pretty good. But with that being the bottom, we are going to have artificial selling coming into the market right here. And again, there's a level. It was a little bit tested. So not surprised that we are seeing a turn right now. Is this something I really want to get involved with? Not really. Could you take it on purely technical basis? Sure, you could. But the way that I'm looking at the data that came out today, I'm looking at this as the market is absolutely clueless about what we're seeing. What we're seeing is on a monthly basis, a continued rise. And if you look at how this has been trending since really, I mean, I guess you could say November, but December, January, February, March numbers. To me, this looks like it's accelerating, not declining. And after a year, that's not what I'm looking at. So I don't care that this came down because we know if you take it from a 2-year mark, if you look at it, again, we're not getting the surges like we were before, but it's still continuing to rise. So yeah, it's holding, but it's holding at a high level. It's not going back to the prices we saw before. So, could you take it? Yes. I just feel that right now it's very difficult for me to be able to go short. Again, everybody believes that the Fed's going to be like, that's it. We're not going to crash any more banks. But remember, at the end of the day, inflation is what's causing a lot of these problems. And again, not dealing with inflation. We haven't even dealt with inflation yet. And we're already causing bank failures, which means what? You can either forget about inflation and let it continue. Yeah. And the bank failure thing, remember too, the bank failure. So CoffeeZilla brings up a great point about this too, which I thought was good that he brought it up. He goes, some people are happy that they saved the banks, but some people are not. Because remember, FDIC insures your deposits up to $250,000. There's not many people that have over $250,000. So it's amazing. He points out that, when rich people demand a bank bailout because they have over what the FDIC insured thing is, magically they get it. It's like, we'll take all that debt on. But meanwhile, inflation, who is it hurting? Is it hurting the rich people that are going to lose money because they have $10 million in their account? No. No. Inflation is continuing to hurt a majority of the public, not the rich people that are complaining. But the rich people got bailed out. So there's kind of that whole thing in there, There's not many people that have $250,000 in savings, right? Just saying. It's not the typical American right there, right? Cash right in the bank. Oh my God, I can't get my money. Right? Those guys are insured. It's the people that have like $10 million, the rich people, and yet the banks are bailing them out, and that's why they want all the additional rules. So yeah, Biden being the president for everybody. I'm going to tighten this up so this doesn't happen again. It's like, well, it didn't affect the majority of the population, Biden, but that's okay. Cover the rich people and pretend that you're saving the average man. So yeah, so I think this is going to go higher. I think the Fed's going to look and be like, hey, we're accelerating. This is not what we want. So yeah, and I will say too, in regards to that, when we talk about what Powell's going to look at, I mean, they've already said that the employment data was there. There's more. The ADP number blew it out. This is the first CPI, and again, CPI is not the best rating, but it's kind of what it's definitely something they need to look at. Remember, Powell is not going to be lost on the fact that it's rich people that are losing it. Powell doesn't care about that. He'll look at it and say, yes, there was bank failures because of X, Y, and Z, because of, this is what they had to do. But at the, where the buck stops is the average American, the majority of the population. It doesn't matter if the bank failed. They're okay, right? They're okay. It was some of the big businesses that had huge accounts there is really what it's kind of going back to. It's the businesses, but it's not the individual people. So, and again, they have business insurance for that too. Dollar yen. So dollar yen rallying back up again. Now we talked about this one potentially going down. And it gets yesterday. It stemmed off the losses yesterday. And what did it do? It immediately started to rally up. So if you look at this now, and if I asked you and said, hey, listen, tell me where. And again, we were looking for this to continue down because we wanted to take this long from the news yesterday. Remember, I said, hey, listen, push all the way down. I'd love it. If we can get the 131, 130, there's a great buying opportunities for news for it to pop today. Well, did it pop from there? No, it maintained and stabilized yesterday at 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. And then it rallied up. If I said, hey, CPI is one of the biggest things out there, particularly now inflation. Show me on here where the big news data was. You're not going to see it, right? So this was not fooled. But what did it do now? It has rallied all the way back up. And where's the dollar weakness? No, it's the yen weakness, right? We've now pushed back up to 135. We should see profit taking from the yen come in again. And again, remember, this one is a little bit hard because if the dollar being weak is suddenly going to get strength, which it's actually not. We've seen the Dixie, the Dixie go up, right? The Dixie is coming up. It's actually green right now, right? You should see this one turn and potentially roll to the downside. So I would say right now, we got to kind of start thinking bearish about the dollar yen. But where's that blockbuster news that came out, right? You're not seeing huge, gigantic spikes like you were over here. And again, we were calling to go long, but the market was not fooled. The market was not fooled. They knew what the data was yesterday. Look at this. Up, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction. The question is, now do we start really kind of tearing back up again? So, and again, 23.6 traders are like, yeah. And that's like, oh, crap. God, I knew I was right? Dear God, please just make this one be good for me. Yes, right? I'll never do this again. It's like I knew it. And then, boom, they're stopped out. So have fun with that one. But I'd say we're thinking bearish at this point. Can we get all the way down to these? Nah, I mean, even though the news is bad, I think the market still believes they're not going to do much. Bitcoin and those, they had a bit of a rally in the last 2 days. It's funny. Jack is like, yep, that's it. That's it. Bitcoin is bullish from now on. I don't know. I guess if you really want to try to go that route again, but I don't know. I don't know how many times you go that route before it's going to be a problem. And again, people are like, Bitcoin's great here. It's like, yeah, but how many scams do you need in Bitcoin? Every celebrity in the world is trying to run from everything crypto related right now. Makes no sense. And you just had with crypto exchanges, 2 of the banks that got taken over, by the way, had crypto exposure. Just so you know. Right? 2 of them had crypto exposure that, failed. The other one was kind of tech startup. But yeah. So if you want to keep dumping money into crypto, go for it. Bonds. Why are bonds going down? Right? You're like, wait a second. Right? Bonds are going down. Yeah, it has to do with the interest rates, right? Interest rates go up, bond prices go down because of the yields. So pretty much dead on that one. Oil. Now, oil just chopping back and forth. We talked about a level up there at the 78. We liked it. It ended up cruising through that one, right? It popped through it and then ended up tanking. We were looking for a Harry Potter trade to come through. Unfortunately, it did do a little bit of a base here at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it did come back up again. It was drawn. I mean, if I bring this across, you can see it's right there, right? You had to take this one all the way over there to get out of it. So in essence, it did go down. It did kind of base, It did get an entry, actually on the red candle, not the green. So it did kind of do its space. You had the drop to the 15. So it was there, but I'll tell you, it was a painful one. You had to take this one all the way until about 11 o'clock last night. So it was a long trade. You had to keep this one for a really long period of time. Um, you may or may not have wanted to hold that one for that long because, again, oil can get weird in the off hours. But it did go back down. All it did was it went back down to the same buyers that we had mentioned yesterday, grabbed those buyers, and now we're kind of basing back around again. So, the trade there was good. It did go off. I actually thought it would go off a little bit sooner, but it took till 1:30 in the afternoon to actually trigger. I was not looking at that point, so I did not take this one in my accounts, just so you guys know. But again, the analysis was fine. We were talking about it. It gave us the little Harry Potter trade. So it's over now. Where we are now, I would say, yeah, there's some sellers in there. Again, has nothing to do with the 50, 23, 6, but there are sellers that were confirmed up there. I guess, let's see. And then more recent trend. Are we going to get any help from here? 786 is still the best thing on there. Again, it's a one hit, so we don't typically take it a second time. But am I excited about anything to 50 or 61? You excited about anything in here? Not really, right? So I mean, if anything, I would say, could be more bearish right now, right? Could be more bearish. But again, with with all the indices up huge right now, this is an awesome day. The Fed's done. Look at that. The Fed's job is working. It's like, it's not working. But if you want to believe that it is, go for it. It's that cherry pick data again, right? Cherry pick data. And here's why I know it's cherry picked, right? I mean, silver's kind of stabilized itself, right? But you got TLT, you got bonds down big. Again, the bonds market has been dead on what the Fed is doing. The bonds market is down, right? Dollar up. Stock market huge. That's it. Problem is solved, right? Our saviors are here. We don't need to do any more. No, we do. So there we go. Yeah, I'd say bearish thinking because we have sellers here, but it's not. I'm not going to play straight on it. Natural gas. Yeah, natural gas. Look, we got close. Go back up to 30. We got close. 4 o'clock this morning. There was the zone we talked about yesterday. We really wanted that 270. It turned a little bit early, right? It got front run and then it used that level and it pushed down. So the trade kicked in. We just didn't get energy. The train left the station without us. Is what it is. Natural gas down just a little bit today. We'll see what this nor'easter is doing. I know right now I may have to cancel practice tonight. A bunch of other teams already had because of wind gusts up in the 50s. Wind chill is supposed to be down into 25, which kind of sucks. I'd rather not cancel practice, but they're like, sustained winds of 20 to 30 miles an hour with wind gusts up to 50. Yeah, the county doesn't take too highly of wind gusts of up to 50 miles an hour. Yes, we wear pads, but like if there's any debris at 50 miles an hour, it can injure some kids. So it's like, being on a county field tonight is not going to be fun. So I don't know. We'll see. But the nor'easter, we're hearing a lot about it right now. I think if we can maintain and hold this 260, 270 range, I think by the weekend, I don't think we collapse all the way back down again. Again, there's supposed to be some snowfall totals in the Northeast that are going to be pretty substantial that I saw in upstate New York and higher. I think this probably maintains and holds, but depending on what the actual true forecast is, I think this comes collapsing back down again. Now, again, supposed to hit Wednesday, Thursday, maybe on Friday we get a nice short in this one. But I think right now this is dangerous until we get the true snowfalls in the next 48 hours. But I like this where this is. I think this heads back down again. And once this nor'easter passes, again, we're officially out of winter. We're into spring nor'easters. We had 0. I think we start making our targets down lower. I think after this initial snowstorm comes through, I think we start to push and we make another $2 push to the downside. Gold. So gold, we said, hey, listen, the data is really, really bad. Look for a monstrous push up in the European session, right? We were hoping that we could get up there. Maybe we'd get all the way up to be able to short from there. We couldn't. It ran into those sellers. So we wanted that big push. We're like, it's possible. Like if we got a huge spike up because of the news today, it didn't. Does gold look like it was fooled? No. The same thing that we ran into. I mean, we had this initial push yesterday. Look at this all the way through. I mean, if you were drawing this one and saying, okay, where's the basing coming in? There's your basing. Here's your news right there. What did it do from 6 to 8? It pushed up into that zone and then bam, gave a short back down again. It is kind of set in somewhat of a Harry Potter type format right now, being that we've hit it again. You may say, how can this be? Why is gold going down? I understand, right? There's a strong dollar, but the indices are telling me different. It's because again, the indices are totally on board with like we're only going to listen to what the Fed's going to slow down. We're at 6. They just need to do nothing right now. Um, if we don't do anything right now, what's going to happen is people are going to be like, oh, and then a year from now, when you see again inflation continuing to rise, we will have another year of continued higher inflation. Because again, if we do nothing right now, inflation will continue to keep moving. So yeah, the unemployment numbers were not bad enough, and CPI being higher, it's dangerous. So I think this one is going to, again, I'd be looking for sales. Again, it's going to be the same similar setup to tomorrow morning with PPI coming out tomorrow. If we maintain high, again, look for shorts into that news. Is where we look. Silver, it looks high. We're like, oh, please pop, and it ran out of steam. The same area of selling yesterday that we had at 11 o'clock. Again, 10:30, 11 o'clock is where the top was put in. Where's the monstrous push? I mean, the Russell's up 3%. The NQ is up 2% right now. Where's the monstrous push that the Fed has done with inflation? There's not. So again, it's the indices being disconnected from what the reality is on this one. And kind of the same thing. I'd say this one also kind of has a Harry Potter type trade in there. Again, we haven't hit it as many times, but we're driving down lower, 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 lower. Again, this one's looking like it wants to get back to 21 to me, particularly if tomorrow's numbers are big as well. So, all right, let's look at those indices. Again, VIX, it was up 19% yesterday. It's down 10% today. Again, that's what kind of happens when you have those monstrous swings. The dollar, still holding firm right around that, again, a little bit below 104, but there's no real trend in the dollar, but yet the indices are taking off. Here's what we had to deal with, and it's funny. Here's your 8:30 release. Okay, what did 8:30 do? It went all the way down, and funny enough, it did go back down to a basing level. You could say, hey, listen, there's a lot of basing right there. Right? There's a lot of basing right there. And it went down and used the same buyers. Right? Do I think this is a smart one? Nah, there's so much whipsaw, and it's like, oh my God, it's great. No, it's bad. No, it's great. Right? Overall, I think what the problem is right here is I think people are waiting for the shoe to drop, is my opinion. Seeing a green number for the dollar, I think right now, I mean, again, I don't see anything the Fed's like, yep, we're going to do all this, right? People are looking at this, and all they are doing is looking at this year-over-year number. I think seeing a 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 shows an acceleration on a month-to-month basis. I think that's the key that people are not looking at. That's funny. We don't have a core year-over-year. Where's my core year-over-year? Right? I'd like to see the core year-over-year because I can tell you. I mean, if you look at this, right? And again, you had some of these big ones. 7. This is why. Look, you can see that last May, like right, March, April, May, we had big numbers. That's why it looks like it's so high that this is working, right? And then it dropped. But do you see any negatives in here? I just see prices getting more expensive and more expensive and more expensive and more expensive and more expensive, and they're just going. So, yeah. Anyway, obviously no opening trend setup on this one. The 930 candle was right here, right? It's not at a peak. No confirmed levels. Okay. If we are looking for a place that we could potentially take a short, I think you can probably mark that level off. It's been there before, twice before, but I think we're getting pretty close and coming up to that 1030. If we're going to have a reversal today, I think that's where it comes in at. So probably pretty close, but no opening print. Again, too big of a number right before news today. Again, look at the chop back and forth. NQ, right? NQ. There's your wick up and down, and it did kind of the same thing, right? There's your level of basing, and it went back and used it. It went a little bit deeper, but again, not a solid level. 945 hiccup, 930. Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, here's the zone we talked about yesterday. So again, areas of selling coming in a little bit farther, right? No opening print, obviously, because again, this level of news was too big. YM, oh God, YM got really ugly. Same base. Again, if we're taking the base back down to here using this candle, right? Again, been there a few times. That's exactly what it ran into. A little bit of gap in this one. Yeah, this one's having a harder time up top. Wouldn't say that there's any trade set up here either, right? If you're looking here, again, we got a lot of selling happening right in here. And again, it's already touched it, and that's what we're running into right now. Will we run out of steam at 1030 in reverse? Looks like we're right there, right? Again, way too big of a zone. I'm not interested in taking that. And then Russell, right? Oops, I just moved that one. Russell had the same pullback, but it didn't go to a level, right? The level was lower, right? You can see, again, we did get the pushback yesterday. Did not push all the way down. Whoops. Cancel. Yeah, and then there's 1800, right? Again, we've been here multiple times, right? Big psychological level. And we hit it once and we're pushing. We run out of steam now. Now, Russell is the strongest of them today. So again, you would assume that it doesn't go as much, but it can be volatile. So all three are kind of reversal levels at 1030, So that's where the reversals, the profit taking tends to come in. It's not like oil's doing much. Have we gotten any major headlines? Let's see. No. Investors are trading divided over Fed will continue to raise rates in March and the subsequent months since the failure of the banks. Yeah, and like I said, there could be a major case. I mean, yeah, obviously businesses are involved in that as well, but I think there could be a major case. It's like, hey, you're not saving the individual. You're letting inflation continue to run at the sake of poor people, right? That's what you're doing, right? You're going to bail out and back these guys up because it's rich people, but you're going to continue to let inflation. Again, core means everything that we buy minus food and energy. I mean, food and energy suck right now, but everything but that, right? Services, everything is in there. Right? Prices of goods and services purchased by consumers. So everything else we buy is continuing to go higher. Who do they side with? That's going to be the big question. So, I don't know. All right, so that's it for today. Let's go ahead and do that drawing. Oh, my nose is killing me. Time to go take some drugs. Like Tylenol, guys. Not anything crazy. Tylenol. It's the other reason why I'm kind of dreading practice tonight. If my nose and balance are screwed up, this wind is going to kill me tonight. All right, who are we missing here? We're missing a lot of people. I know we got some people in here because I'm not allowed to mention names, but we're missing some people here. I see. Let's see. Where's Will? I saw you subscribed, and again, thank you for using your Amazon. Remember, if you guys have Amazon Prime, you guys also can give one Twitch stream a subscription. It does help. Right? It does help with pip chips. You do get twice the pip chips when you are a member. So again, if you do have Amazon Prime, I guess it's called like Prime Gaming or whatever, it's included. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And if you don't use it, it just goes to waste every month. So if you guys do have Prime Gaming, make sure you sub the channel. It adds up over time. I do get sent something over time. They're like, oh, you've met the threshold after like 8 months. Here you go. Here's a check. My kid loves it. They're like, oh my God, you got a check from Twitch. I'm like, yeah. I was like, buddy, it's because I have Amazon Prime and I subscribe to the channel. It's funny. All right. I guess Will's not interested in winning today. I guess Will was convinced I am just not going to win today. So that's it. So today should be easy. We'll see who gets in and wins it. Whoops, I almost clicked the refund. All right. Winner of today's drawing is Neuro. Neuro had 4. You guys are letting Neuro take this one easy. Again, Neuro won yesterday, so Neuro will get his 100 for today. Let's see. Where's Neuro at? Right here. Neuro's creeping up slowly on Debbie. Whoops. 100. There we go. So look at that. Within 500 or almost 500. So he's getting close. Will's getting close. Will in the next week should be able to break 10,000. So, and then Will gets the check for $1 million. Right? That's how it works. All right. So with that, I'm out of here. I gotta go find my kid. Make sure Reese hasn't given him like a bowl of popcorn or something that he can choke on or something. We'll see. So I'll be back on tomorrow morning. Remember, tomorrow morning also very big morning. This is a lot of stuff. Core PPI, retail sales, also big. It's already expected to be negative. Seeing the big push, and I'll tell you right now, kind of the one outlining trends right now is, again, remember, the market doesn't like bad news. It only acknowledges news that help it. But with it being up really, really big today, if it doesn't reverse right now, retail sales are expected to be negative. We see negative manufacturing, PPI expanding more than expected, and then seeing retail sales tank tomorrow could be a recipe for quite a red day tomorrow, right? Especially if we get anything out of the Fed. So just be conscious of that. And again, we got some great news trade setups tomorrow night. So I'm out of here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. And I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9:30. You guys have a good one. Take care.